Shut up, Sokka.
You're done.
Soul Calibur sucks.
So, is Soul Calibur 6 actually good?
Are we just jumping into it right away?
Well, why wouldn't we?
Jokes to engage the audience.
Alright. What's sad and makes people want to discontinue living
Our channel.
life?
Both were valid answers.
Yeah.
Leave your answers in the comments below.
And I'll read them in the next episode of Cry.
I'll read them in the next episode of Cry. It's an acronym.
Oh yeah, for what?
Cry.
For crying, rying, and I.
Cry, rye, I.
Nice.
Why?
S as in Sakura, A as in Akra, K as in Kura, U as in Yura.
R as in racist.
Alright, then love yourself.
Alright. Let's dig into the meat of this dish. It's a porterhouse.
So first off, I think the first big one is how long, in order to validate our opinions, what would you say is your experience with the Soul Calibur franchise?
I got into it with 5. I played a bit of 4. I've probably put in 300 hours collectively between 5 and 4 and 6.
We could probably check, to be honest. Like, at
Well,
least on 5, but I don't want to bring it up.
On 5, though,
On 5, I know I can check.
you can check, but it doesn't always provide the accurate time.
Yeah.
Because if
It's just your time in battle.
Well, if you leave out, it doesn't record the time.
Oh, yeah. Anyway.
And I often just say,
So you mostly played 5.
Mostly, yeah. And it was fun. The character creation was nice.
Yeah.
Wasn't any
We'll get into that later.
Stats to worry
We'll get
about.
into that later. We're just going over our experience, what we know about the game so far. So I got into it, Soul Calibur 2, but this was still late into, like, I got a GameCube around the time the PlayStation 3 was out. So it had been a while, but I played a lot of Soul Calibur 2. I played a lot of fucking Soul Calibur 2.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure we did almost everything we could in that game. And then I got Soul Calibur 4, and I played a lot of Soul Calibur 4. And then I've played a fuck ton of Soul Calibur 5. And
you have Soul
get your head out
Calibur.
of your hood.
You have Soul Calibur 5 powers.
Yeah, and then I also have Soul Calibur 6, and I've done quite a bit with it.
Yeah, you've basically done all there is to doing it.
No, because I don't play Libra, because it's not fun.
I'm making a joke that there's nothing in Soul Calibur 6.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we did the main story.
You do the main story, then you unlock side stories, which, cool. I mean, fine. I get to play other characters, but what do they do?
Like, what's the
Nothing.
point? There's really no point.
It's just playing 6 fights as an alternative character.
So let's jump into the story of Soul Calibur, because I know with Soul Calibur 5, the biggest complaint was that the story was bullshit.
Oh yeah.
But the thing about it is, like, so first off, Soul Calibur 6 is supposed to be a retelling of the first Soul Calibur.
Is it a retelling, or is
it is
before?
It's a retelling of, like, the first story.
Okay. So
it's supposed to take place at the same time as the first game.
Okay.
Which is why Tira was a DLC character, because she originally wasn't planned for the game because she wasn't in the original. She was added in 3.
But everyone loved.
Yeah. So there was that, and then so Tira's added, and then what was I? Oh yeah, so the story. So 5 kind of had a story that focused on one character. You didn't really get to play too many other people, and there weren't any cutscenes.
The parts where you did, it just kind of felt shoehorned in.
Yeah, and there weren't any.
For some reason, you end up fighting as Y at one point towards the end of the 5. You play as Vi towards the end of the story.
Vi. Yeah. Yeah.
And there's no reason given as to why you're suddenly playing as him.
It was just kind of.
And then you redo all those fights as Patroclus.
What has happened toward? Jesus Christ.
What?
I just got a warning message that that Streamlabs has detected a 370% drop in our frames. Which is not the case. We have not dropped a single frame this entire stream, but it's just like, hey, you've dropped 370,000% of the frames you've done.
We have one frame.
Anyway, so Soul Calibur 5, there were no cutscenes.
No.
It was focused on characters no one cared about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Patroclus or whatever. And Patroclus was a dick, right?
And his fighting style wasn't fun.
It wasn't fun. Soul Calibur 6. Well, before we get to 6, the other games didn't have a dedicated story mode. What it was you could play through pretty much a story mode for each of the characters, and one of them was considered the most canon.
Mm-hmm.
The way you found out the true story was you had to go deep dive into the shit. Or whatever. You know,
So
the lore.
The Darth Vader one was just as true as...
Technically, no.
I mean...
Canonically, no.
Canonically, no, but, like, really, yes.
It was fun, though.
Yes.
I don't care who you are. Being Darth Vader and getting to beat down on nightmares, like, who's the ultimate bitch? Like, who's the big bad?
That just seems like a fun character to throw in. Like,
Darth Vader was such a...
Darth Vader is
everyone's
cool.
like, oh, it doesn't fit because lightsabers shouldn't collide with other weapons. It's like, who fucking cares?
Is it really colliding?
Technically, yeah, because you can ding.
You can ding, but it's really hard to do.
And the guards, like, you shouldn't be able to block a lightsaber. Is one of the big... Who gives a fuck?
I'm Darth Vader, and I'm going, Hwa, ha-cha, you are dead.
And it's not his fighting style from the first movie, so...
Which is, poke, poke.
Visual humor.
Yeah. He's smacking his big peepee.
But then Soul Calibur 6 does the same exact fucking thing as 5. Takes a character you marginally don't care about, pretty much forces you to play as them, and a story you really don't care about.
Well,
and he's not that likable. Kilik is not a likable character.
No.
He has no real conflict. He has no real interest.
His conflict is, oh, I can be a bad person.
Yeah. Oh no, the darkness within me. I mean, it's fucking Kingdom Hearts.
Mm-hmm. And then at the end, it's just like, you know what? I accept that I have it, and then I can use it.
It's
why?
What was the point?
Why
what
does that
story
work?
did we tell? This wasn't the story of Soul Edge and Soul Calibur. This was the story of Kilik being like, hello! Like, who cares?
Like, in 5, I was curious as to, oh, Kilik, he kind of uses everyone's fighting style, and he's a bitch to fight against.
It's really weird because it's almost like Soul Calibur 6's story was to go back in time and explain why Kilik was the way he was in Soul Calibur 5. Which is dumb. And it's stupid. And it's also dumb. They gave him a fucking, like, magical ornament, magic mirror, shield, belt thingy. They, like...
He doesn't even wear it as a belt!
Who even cares? They had to add it to give some importance to the character. They added a whole new fucking MacGuffin. You already have the 2 powerful MacGuffins, one of which the fucking game is named after.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on the MacGuffins. At least Soul Calibur 5 focused on the MacGuffins.
And... in 6, what purpose did Soul Calibur have? There was no purpose.
I don't even think they introduced it, did they?
There was. It was the, sorty bitch.
Sorry, bitch?
Yeah, she had it.
Oh, yeah, Zhenghua.
Yeah. She had Soul Calibur, and it was completely fucking, oh, I didn't even know I had this.
Oh, it's the fucking, my sword is blue.
My sword is blue and I'm fully healed. I can fight Nightmare, but I'm gonna lose, and then Kilik, who doesn't have Soul Calibur, will win.
Who has a belt made of mirrors that's green. Why isn't it purple? It's the middle color. You have a blue thing, you have a red thing, give me purple. think you are, fucking Pokemon? Pokemon Sword, Shield, and Gun up in this bitch? Like, what are you doing? It's not how it works. It's not how any of this works.
I see you brought a gun to a sword fight. I see you brought a
Which
shield to a
weirdly enough,
gunfight.
Cervantes does. So that's the other thing that's weird too. Is it's like
That's getting nitpicky into characters saying Cervantes shouldn't have a gun.
no, I'm saying that like the weird thing about it is that so I played from 2 pretty much onward, skipping 3, and in 2 they really made it sound like before Nightmare, Cervantes had Soul Edge.
In the Soul Edge.
Yeah, and so it's
or
like
whatever
it's this
game
weird thing.
before it was Soul Calibur.
Yeah, it's really weird. And then, all right, so we've discussed the story. The story is bullshit.
And the extra stories are completely useless as well.
They're just there.
They're there, and
they're there seemingly just for the people who complain about 5.
I mean, you're adding content, but the content is 6 fights and some dialogue.
It's reading. Give me cutscenes. You're fucking. You're a next gen game.
Is what you want really? Is as a player, do you want to be able? Do you want to have a 10-hour story going over in-depth characters and this person's with that person, and then there's that wild card. You don't know what they're doing, then you find out what they're doing. Or do you want a 2-hour story you can blast her in one sitting, and 16 other 2-hour, if even?
Well, and here's the other thing too, like Soul Calibur 2, right?
How many fights?
I understand all of like the dilemmas between them. And they didn't have cutscenes in that game. Literally all, well, except for like the last one. But what they did was the character would come up before the fight. They'd say their line of dialogue to the other character in the arcade mode, right? Or in the story mode. And that line of dialogue was like, I need to find my sister. I'm trying to find someone too. And then they'd fight. And it's like, oh, now I understand these characters' relationship, right? And then if you wanted to know more, if you wanted to read, there was a segment where you could go read. The problem with Soul Calibur 6 is that it's just reading. Show me a cutscene or just let me fight.
Mm-hmm.
Don't make me have to sit through and read shit. It's like, I don't care. I don't want to read it. I want to see it. It's a visual medium.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking, what if they made a Soul Calibur movie and it was just reading and voiceovers? It's fucking dumb. Here's the deal. The synopsis of this entire piece is that Soul Calibur 6 is a rushed out piece of trash.
Not to mention that the dialogue you're reading is cheesy as fuck.
But, like, it's because they didn't work on it. They don't care. They just pumped it out so they could get money. And it's dumb. It should have been Soul Calibur 5.5. I'm not even kidding. It's bad. It's not even its own standalone game at this point. It's just 5.5 and it's dumb. Let's get into the new shit that they added into the game.
What new shit? Because it's all the old shit that they already had.
So there's 2 new characters and one new battle mechanic. So let's talk about. Do you want to talk about the battle mechanic first or the characters first?
Let's do battle mechanics second. Characters first.
I like how I asked you a question, you decide to answer it in a way that technically gives me an answer.
But makes it the most...
But was very roundabout.
Characters first. Alright. I will say right now, I do enjoy the guest character. Geralt was a good choice.
Geralt was a... Which...
But
there's... Can we talk for a second?
Why Geralt if nothing with Geralt is coming out right now?
So that's the thing, right? I've been thinking about that. Monster Hunter just did a Witcher crossover. There was something else that just did a Witcher crossover. There was I know that there's at least 3 other games that did Witcher crossovers. I think something's happening. Either they're trying to drum up some hype for their fucking Netflix show, or there's something in the works. There has to be. There's just too much Witcher, years after The Witcher came out.
Mm-hmm.
So something's probably happening with The Witcher.
Maybe.
But let's talk about the 2 new characters. Because the guest character is whatever. Which, I kind of miss console exclusive characters.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that would have been too much work.
Oh yeah.
So grow, which like, cool. You have a dash through your O. Be edgy. And as well. They're fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Grow's weapon is cool. It's a cool concept.
Mm-hmm.
It plays neat. As well, it's just like, what if we took, what's his name from 4 and 5? Oh my god, what the fuck is his name? The king. Long white hair.
Oh,
dread.
yeah. That guy.
Him.
Yep.
Yeah, the fucking whatever. Who has Soul Edge and Soul Calibur built into his body.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they were trying to explain how that could ever happen. Like, oh, here's a scientist who he can use the things.
And he's part of this organization that suddenly existed.
Suddenly Organization 13. I'm telling you, this game just wanted to be fucking Kingdom Hearts.
This organization exists. Grow is like the big cool guy of that organization. Everyone in the organization hates that guy, but they allow him to exist within the organization even though he breaks all the rules of that organization.
Yeah.
Why the fuck is he... Okay, why?
And why?
If everyone in the organization hates him, and it's a secret underground organization that nobody ever heard about until now.
It's a weird character combination to throw into the game, and I don't understand the characters. And here's the thing, when you're leaving out original characters, Cassandra, Cassandra, Aeon, the lizard man, who's been in literally like every game.
At least you can make your own lizard man.
Yeah, but like I want Aeon. He's cool, and he's all like, and it's great.
My lizard.
And he's just really cool.
That guy's riding a bike. I want to jump in front of him.
But it just, I think that Aswell's fighting style in particular is fucking horseshit.
Mm-hmm. It's built off of...
It's just annoying.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing...
it's not fun to play.
It doesn't...
And it's not fun to play against.
It does... his attacks don't lead into other attacks very well. You kind of get stuck into these arduous combos, and it's not...
There's 3 combos for him.
And all his kicks have a wind-up. His kicks have a wind-up. It's weird. He's weird.
He feels like he was meant to be broken. Like he wasn't meant to be playable.
Right, he's meant to be like baby's first Soul Calibur character.
No. As in unplayable, because yes, you can play him and you can win. It is easy to win with him.
He's cheesy as hell.
But all you're doing is the same... It's not fun to just hold the same button combination
that's what I'm saying.
and
He's
win.
He's just,
If I want to do that, I'm going to take Inferno. I'm just going to destroy you in 3 seconds. Because that doesn't take a lot of time.
And the one, again...
Aswell's takes a lot of time because he does no damage, but his attacks are...
He just shreds through guards. It's ridiculous. Yes. He's a ridiculous character. But,
he doesn't...
Grow.
He doesn't...
Can we talk about Grow for a second? His fighting style is actually fun.
His fighting style is fun. There are unique combinations that have multiple different branches.
I think he has a second stance, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His combinations have branches. Not a lot of characters have branching combinations.
Siegfried and Mitsurugi are the 2 that have alternate stances.
Yes. But what I'm talking about is doing a certain move, and then it leads up into these 2 other moves, and you can choose one of them.
Yeah, definitely. And
it gives you options.
The problem is that the character himself sucks.
The character himself.
He's just an edgelord, right?
Yes.
Like, why? We don't need... It's like they looked at Vi and they're like, we want a reason for him to possibly exist in the future. Soul Calibur 6 seems like such a weird justification for Soul Calibur 5 that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
And it drives me up a wall.
Like, Vi, it was just... Okay, he has a wolf. That was his thing. He's not really that fun or easy to play. I never played him.
He he was different. It took a lot of getting used to.
Yes, like I did try to figure him out for a while.
But he definitely feels like he would belong to the same kind of organization that Grow is a part of. So
yes.
It seems like they're trying to expand.
It felt like he was the Grow after Grow.
Yeah, except technically before, because the game came out before. But the story takes place after. Yeah, it's just fucking weird. But really, I mean, and then the other weird thing too was having another guest character be the second DLC character, which I'm not going to complain too much because I think it's cool. But when you've already left out so much, like I think that Soul Calibur 6's roster at launch is smaller than 5's was.
Oh yeah.
And I know for damn certain every game's been smaller than 4 because 4 was like the Smash Ultimate of.
Yep.
Of Soul Calibur. With disregarding guest characters and stuff.
I don't mind having DLC guest characters. I don't mind if they're... I do mind if they're completely garbage to play against. Like,
right.
2B is very, very strong.
2B is very interesting.
I mean, it fits her character, but
yeah.
does it work in the game?
Yeah, that's the question.
If it doesn't work in the game...
Thanks, Aaron.
If it doesn't work in the game, you change it.
But, I don't know, it's just... Again, it's one of those things where I think I'd be more fine with it if Soul Calibur 6 was a more complete and full game.
Oh, yes. Can I talk about stage selection right now?
Oh my god. Hit me with it.
How many stages did 5 have?
Enough.
It had everyone felt unique.
Well, and not only that, but it had some stages that would change.
Yeah, it had dynamic stage. Soul Calibur 6, I think there's not even 10.
I don't even think that there's... I think there's only like one stage that you can't get ringouts on.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9... Yeah, about 11 stages.
Yeah.
I think we only play on 3.
If we pick, I usually.
If we pick.
And
which
remember,
is fighting in hell.
2 of those were added later on.
Mm-hmm. Fighting in hell just because it's like, oh hey, look, it's hell.
And
it's motherfucking hell.
And it's the only dynamic stage. It's the only one that changes.
Where you can knock your opponent into the wall and break the wall and throw and then get ringouts.
But while we're getting to that, let's talk about the dynamics.
That's not even a new mechanic. They had that in 5.
Let's talk about new mechanics real quick.
Oh my god.
So the 2 biggest things that changed was how criticals work, and also they added the new reversal edge. And
I don't know a single person who enjoys the reversal edge.
So...
And... who has played other games in the series. We have a friend...
Or other fighting games in general.
We have a friend who... they have played fighting games before, but, they didn't play a lot of Soul Calibur. I kind of worked with him to try and teach him how to play a character of his choice that I knew how to play.
Yeah.
And he got pretty good with that in 5. 6 rolls out.
It was cheesy.
It was.
It was cheesy.
It was, but it wasn't impossible to play against.
Yeah. It was Jiba, by the way.
Yes,
it was
Jiba.
Who need to know how much I fucking despise Jiba and 5.
And in 6, he plays as Keelik because
it's the
same fighting style basically.
Yeah. Technically the same exact weapon.
Yeah. However, he completely changed his fighting style to rely entirely.
Almost entirely on reversal
edges. In one match, I counted up to 6 in the average fight. And that's not fun. That's just hit the thing.
And then rock, paper, scissors.
And rock, paper, if the game even allows you to choose.
Sometimes, yes. And sometimes the game has weird misinputs where I'm pressing square, and then it, hey, Bap, I'm pressing square, and then it's like, oh, did you mean triangle? It's like, no, bitch.
Or if it happens, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to take part in this, you can block. But sometimes it'll it'll do a reroll. And you do it again. In which case, you can't block. Blocking is a guaranteed guard break, and you lose. You get dicked. That's not fun. It's not fun to go, I don't want to take part in this mechanic. Because it's broken. It allows a newer player to figure out, okay, I can still beat this guy. However, it's not skill in a skill-based game. There's no skill in pressing whichever button. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. If I put 300 hours into a game and I'm playing against someone who put 20 hours in the game, I would expect to be able to beat that person several times. Like, more times than they could beat me. But because I don't rely on that mechanic, that person with 20 hours is beating me 80% of the time. Like, when we play with him, we have to say, don't do it again, or you're getting booted from the party. And he doesn't, and he ends up losing. He hasn't put the time in, so he should, if he wants to win, he should put the time in to figure out the character, figure out how to fight. That's the fair thing to do to players. If I'm more dedicated, I should be getting more wins. Yes, it's mean to my friend. It is. But is it? I can, if I can take someone off the street, give them a controller and say, this is how you win, and they win most of their fights in a fighting game by using one mechanic, is that mechanic a fair mechanic for the game?
So, I want to touch on what you've been talking about. It is absolutely putting an RNG system into a skills-based game. What I think the reversal edge was that Bandai Namco was like, hey, we want to get new players into the game, but we're scared that these new players are going to get intimidated by the longtime franchise users, right? Mm-hmm. So they're like, well, what do we do if someone's getting dicked on by their friend or by someone online and they need to get out of this, right? Because one of the big problems when you play online, especially ranked, is you'll just get hit into combos you can't escape from. They're like, well, what if we give you a block that blocks everything and even gives you a chance to turn the momentum around on an RNG basis? And it wasn't... It's not fun.
No, it's
not. Because what you're doing is you're creating a crutch for...
If I've played a character enough to where I can get you into a 17-hit combo and take out 2/3 of your health, I should be allowed to do that.
Or make it so that way you have better block windows. So you have a chance to evade at a certain, like...
Yes.
Like, take a game... This is going to be weird because I've been playing this game for, 4 days. Straight, but 4 days. Jump Force. You get hit into ridiculous combos in that game. But they added a mechanic where if you press the right button at the right time, you evade out, and you can start a counterattack.
Which, I put 0 time into that, and I could do it repeatedly.
Yeah, pretty consistently.
Just because I was told, if you press this button when this is happening, and you do it at the right time,
yeah,
you can get the counter.
And that is, in my opinion, 100 times more fair than if if I'm beating you up. It doesn't feel the same as, oh, I'm beating down on you, I'm going down, fool, and then you're like, haha, whap, now who knows who's gonna continue beating who knows where this is going, between oh, I see you have displayed a sense of skill, and now you
got the counter on me. Oh, fuck, I need to get out of this doing the same thing. Well,
it's a sense of, you did it. Mm-hmm. Good job. You learned the game, and now we're both on the same competitive skill level. Mm-hmm. The other problem with reversal edges is that there are moves within the game that combo into reversal edges. Mm-hmm. with Mitsurugi, when you press your vertical attack button 3 times, it combos into a reversal edge. Rant on something.
Rant on something. Anything. Okay.
What's up?
Have you ever noticed how, like, squids and octopi, right? I mean, they have suckers, but, like, how many on each arm? Like, is that a weird question? And then, like, giant squid, they have the longer tentacles and, like, more suction things. Like, how did evolution suction cup a squid? How did that happen? What at what point was evolution like, you know what would be good? Giving you danglies with, like, little things on it. You know? I mean, strangest question.
What'd you rant about?
Squids and why they have suction cups.
What are you doing calling me again?
Anyways.
Yes.
I mean, like, that's not something that happens together. Something that happens separate. So, like, did squids used to have suction cups? And then evolution was like, hey, if we put these farther out. Or was it like, hey, you got arm things that wiggle like worms. What if we put sucks on those? What if we gave you the good suck on some squid tentacles? Like, why? How did that happen? And then, have you ever noticed on like, octopus, it gets, like, really, really tiny towards the very end?
Well, yeah, you can... Alright, I'm back.
Alright. Why did you get called again?
Because, so our beepers are having a problem, and they won't open the garage. Oh, and why I got called again was because I don't think she put her phone into sleep when she was trying to get out of the car, and she just tapped a button that made her call me again.
Okay.
Anyway, so...
Reversal edges.
So, yeah, so with Mitsurugi, you press triangle 3 times, and on the 3rd time, you pop into a reversal edge. It's like, no. It's supposed to go bap, bap, and then scoop. That's what the move did. You've now fundamentally changed the combo, and you've changed it in a way that makes me incredibly vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
Because unless you're attacking me, which you wouldn't be, because if I've hit you twice, you're mine. I'm in a state where you can easily be like, oh, sidestep, attack, and it's like, oh, well, fuck
Or
you.
I can wait
Or you can just grab me.
until it times out. Then I see your sword start to move, and that's enough time for me to get a hit on you when you're vulnerable.
Or you could even just let it hit, and then try to win the fucking thingamajig.
Or I could block it.
Or you could grapple me. And here's the other thing that reversal edges broke: grappling. The way grabs worked in the game was you had 2 grabs. You had your square grab and your triangle grab. And the way you countered them was by either pressing square or triangle, respective to the button that you're being grappled by.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's only the square grab, because the triangle grab has been replaced with reverse edging. And what this does, though, is it doesn't make it so that way you still... It got rid of you have to press square to get out of it. Square, triangle, circle, all works. So if you're pressing buttons, like a lot of people do, and I go to grapple you, chances are I'm not getting the grapple off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're blocking and you're about to grapple me, I'm going to press buttons. It's like, oh, fuck, can't grapple.
The only times grappling ever works is after you knock an opponent down and are waiting for them to get up. Because they will often get up blocking. I mean, sure. That's the only instance in which grappling works. But even then, I have enough time to go, wait, panic button.
Yeah. And...
It's enough time, and now we're back to where we started.
Right. And now, yeah, it's this weird situation where I think they should have expanded grapples. Get rid of taunting. Make that a new grapple. There you go, you have 3 grapples. Now it's a rock, paper, scissors game. When you see them go for that grapple animation, it's like, now what button do I press to get out of the grapple? Right? That's a more interesting and seemingly more skill-based rock, paper, scissors game.
It will be like high, low, and medium grapples. in which you can kind of see where it's going, but you need to identify the animation.
Yeah.
And if you're wrong, if you do the right one, congrats, you're out of the grapple. If you do if you do say you're going high, he's going high, and you went for a low grapple defense.
Yeah.
Well, now that's gonna do an extra damage to that grapple.
Yeah, like an extra 0.5% or whatever.
Yes,
like...
it's gonna hurt you a little bit more because you were completely wrong.
Now that's what I call being completely fucking wrong about Iraq.
If you do nothing, or do the medium, you're now, okay, I am receiving the normal amount of damage.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, even, like, if you break the grapple, right, give the grappler, like, a knockback, like I've been foiled, which would then, why are you trying to call me again? And then you get to fucking rant about something. Alright.
So, why do elephants have, like, long trunks? What's the point of that? You ever notice? You ever ask yourself that? I'll tell you what the point of it is. It's so they can drink. Meaning they got big before they had the trunks. So there was a time when elephants couldn't fucking drink. So how did they survive when they couldn't fucking drink? How do you do that, elephants? Explain! Explain, Africa! Explain!
So, her concern is that your car is sticking into the road a little bit. So, when we go to figure out this controller thing...
Yeah.
Whatever. What? Elephants in Bavaria? What?
Elephants have trunks.
So...
And they got
and
that...
And so does Dragon Ball. Elephants are Dragon Balls!
And they use that to drink water.
Alright, anyway.
So that means there was a time when they didn't have the trunks. So how did they drink the water? Explain, Africa!
Okay, anyway.
Even though they exist.
So, what were we on? We were on reversal edges.
Reversal edges and how they broke.
And then, grappling. So, let's say that you block the grapple, which then the grappler is all like, "Oh fuck, I've been bamboozled," and then you get to be like, "Now I'm attacking." Shifts the momentum, and still feels like it's a skill-based thing. It feels like, "Oh, cool, you understood how to block me," rather than, "Oh, you pressed a button and now we have to play this little like." In the fucking animation, fucking like take a year and a half for something I already hate. I hate it, but it takes for fucking ever.
It slows down the battle.
Speaking of taking forever, moving on to our next topic, critical edges. So these used to be, I forget what the old Soul Calibur 4 term was. It's like a critical finish or something like that. They used to be a powerful move that you could use to KO your opponent. And I don't even know how to pull them off. They're very, very tricky. Soul Calibur 5 rolls around, and you have to Hadouken combo. Which...
And it was... You saw your opponent wiggling, and you're like, I know what's going to happen now.
I know exactly what's going to happen. And not only that, but you had to have like a full bar of energy, which you could stack up to 2. And so, a lot of them were pretty blockable. With the exception of, I think, 2. I don't...
One was a grapple.
One was a grapple, and the other one was the unblockable bullet.
Yes, but...
But eat duck.
Yeah. All you have to do is quack.
Oh, my opponent is wiggling.
My opponent is
duck
wiggling.
And cover.
My opponent is wiggling. Quack!
Duck and cover. But,
I'm just listening to the space ducks.
So that really...
Such a majestic creature.
And it was a more brisk animation. It didn't take too long, and it felt great to pull off. They were fun. They
were fun. It was one of those, and if you did it at the right moment, it was a counter. It was.
Yeah. Some of them did have guard impact.
Yeah, guard impact. And one of my best memories is of you getting guard impacted and screaming the power out.
Yeah. It was a good time. I don't get angry when I play video games. I just pretend to. It's really funny.
It is.
It's really fun.
Because you unleash unbridled rage.
Yeah, you wanna...
Like, no one wants to marry that rage.
Unbridled rage. Oh my god, I hate you. So the other point I was gonna get at was that in 6, they change it up a bit. You get this bar that can fill up twice again. And it's a button. It's one button.
Mm-hmm.
No combo, no nothing. So it's very obvious they want you to use it more often. But it is a fucking, like, 12 to 15 second cutscene for each character.
I think the longest in 5 was only, like, 8 seconds.
And it...
Longest.
You know, and it wasn't that bad. It didn't... It felt fast-paced.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like attacks were happening or something was happening, setup was happening. Take
my
Nightmare.
favorite was Jiba. How long did that take? 3 seconds.
Yeah, it was just... What was it? It was the Guard Impact, and then...
Baps you into air, bap a couple more times, then ground bap.
So, let's take Nightmares, right? From Soul Calibur 6. You stab your sword into the ground, and then if they don't hit you, you just swing in front of them, or swing in front of yourself. If you miss, right? If they do hit you, you, I believe, are guaranteed a hit on them, which knocks them back. Then all of a sudden you're on a horse, out of nowhere. Then you're charging with the horse. Then you hit and strike through them. It's technically 2 attacks. One happens right away. The other one happens 5 seconds into the animation. Most of the animation is not dealing damage. And it's like... What was his in fucking 5? It was a Guard Impact... And then probably something cool. He was cool. God, I don't remember 5 that well.
I don't remember the 5.
But the problem is, and here's the other thing. This is a very minor issue, right? So, in the arcade mode, one of the few sources of outside the story mode fun that you'll find in the offline mode, and that isn't Libra, which we'll get into Libra, is going through arcades. And the arcades have a bronze, silver, and gold on it, right? Time. They're like time trials. When you proc a critical edge, it pauses the match timer. The one thing it doesn't pause is the arcade timer. So, you don't do enough damage to justify the time. You cannot get gold if you use critical edges, because they take too long and don't pause the timer. And I know it's a minor point, but when that's one of the few offline things you can do, you know, then that's what you're gonna try and do, and it's not okay that I can't have that fun, cool moment, that I have to try and be like, I have to keep attacking. I can't stop attacking.
Okay. I have Jiba's attack right here, right?
I want to see Nightmares.
5 seconds. 5 seconds. And gameplay resumed.
Yeah. What was Nightmares? I could probably pull it up on screen, to be honest. But...
It was literally just a vertical chop.
Oh, yeah.
That's all it is.
And it did a fuck ton of damage, though.
Yes.
I think there was one time I one-shotted someone with it randomly.
Yeah, you one-shot me with it.
From full health.
Yes.
Yeah. And I don't know what the parameters for that was, but
I think it was because you, guard impacted a really strong attack.
Yeah, and I was really weak at the time. I know I was running out of health.
I was going to win, you popped that, and I lost.
So...
and that felt fair, because it wasn't, I hit a button. It was, he's wiggling, I need to get this out.
Oh, yeah.
Do the attack.
Like,
do the attack. Then you got your sword down, and guard impacted me.
So...
and then you did full damage. And what did we do? We laughed our asses off about that.
What critical edges became... So, 4, they were finisher moves.
Mm-hmm.
In 5, they were strong special moves.
Or even counters.
In 6, they acted like they were finisher moves. But they're
more like combo enders.
They're available to you as... or they're portrayed... So, they're available to you like they're a special move. But they perform like a finisher. Very long, elaborate... and...
not to mention special dialogue if you do finish with it.
Yeah, it's so odd. It's such a weird... I really liked pulling them off in 5 because it was like, oh fuck, here's my most powerful move, get dick. And now it's like, all right, hands off controller. We're watching a movie tonight, bitches. Like, let's go. This is me just watching you get beat up by me for 5
Let's
seconds.
see. Every character doing their critical edge, including Keelik and Edgemaster and such.
Yeah.
Repeating critical edges. Every single one put together. I have that video right here. 6 minutes and 34 seconds.
Can you pull
in
up
5?
Like every SoCal 6 critical edge? Because it seems like a minor problem, but it really messes with the flow of the game. It's not fun when you're mad because your friend's dicking you over and you're like, ha, I'm going to pull out my big move. And then you have to just sit there and wait. It's like, I want to wail. Let me fucking punish this bitch. Or like, when you're punishing someone, when you're punishing someone, and then they whip it out, and you're just sitting there waiting, and it just sucks. How long are all the Soul Calibur 6 ones?
6 minutes and 22 seconds. However, how many characters are we talking about in comparison?
We're talking about almost half the amount of characters.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest.
Alright,
so
let's see.
It's Soul Calibur 6. And we haven't even gotten to the part we hate the most. We haven't even gotten to the one part that makes us the most genuinely furious.
Alright. I'm trying to see how many characters are in Soul Calibur 5. I don't know it off the top of my head.
Quite a few.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
20. 10, 15.
And while you
20,
count, we're going to take a word from
22,
our sponsor today.
23.
Air. Oh.
23 characters. Plus a special, character creator only fighting style.
Yeah. And then there was a DLC fighter.
24 DLC fighter. 25 characters.
25 characters. And the DLC fighter was one fighter for $5 and he was someone from 3. And he's fucking funny. I love him so much. Shout out to all the Dampierre players out there. Rest in peace. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Anyway, now, while he looks this up, it's time for our word from our sponsor. Today's sponsor is beef. If you ever felt bad and needed a lift me up, try beef. It comes from cows. It's kosher. It's a hearty source of protein. It's naturally low in sodium. It's brown sometimes. Beef. It's very versatile. You can make it into hamburgers, meatballs, roast beef, corned beef, pastrami. This is just a Forrest Gump thing now, isn't it? Beef. Get yours today. Beef. It's good. Thanks, Beth. Beef. It's what's for dinner. If you're eating beef for dinner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, DLC characters included. We are looking at,
Are we just talking the 2 DLC characters that we have right now?
2 DLC characters we have right now. We are looking at, 20... Did I do the math right? 23 characters. And the video I looked up was released before the DLC characters were available.
Uh-huh. So it was 21 characters at launch?
It was 21 characters at launch.
With no unique created character fighting styles.
With no unique character fighting styles. And you're still looking at the same amount of time, a little bit shorter, but still roughly the same amount of watching a character laugh while their weapon starts on fire as they spin and then poke someone.
And then it goes boing.
Like,
so, we don't compliment this game very often, but can we please talk about the sword vibrations for a second? Hot damn, are those cool. That's a fucking cool thing that they added. Wasn't in the last game, and it was really neat. I like the fact that Xianghua's sword is all like, ow, 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 ow.
Siegfried's was 10 seconds.
Yeah, Siegfried has like the longest.
12 seconds until the animation finishes and battle can resume.
Yeah, Siegfried's is definitely the longest, and it's the most ridiculous to watch because what does he do? He hits you in the air, then he spins around in a circle, and it's 2 hits.
He spins around in a circle, then hits you, and then rests his blade while it goes on fire for some reason, then hits you again.
It's two
hits
for 12 seconds of animation.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking, like, again, Nightmares from Soul Calibur 5.
Alright.
Nightmares from Soul Calibur 5 is just, you activated my trap card, bap. And it's like, you get a little thinking on the head. It's ridiculous. So critical edges are ridiculous. I think we've kind of said our piece with critical edges. Do we want to move on to what we...
Another 12 second for Zazmo, whatever his name is.
Okay, but his is fun.
No, it isn't.
His is it. But again, that's another,
It's a meme.
It is very meme.
Including all
and
DLC.
It's 1 hit.
Okay.
Or 2 hits. Sorry, it's 2 hits.
This one is 7 minutes and 35 seconds, including all DLC characters, and the super critical edge, which you have to be powered up.
Oh
to
yeah,
do.
because there's certain characters that can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a ridiculous. Again, they took
for not even the same amount of characters. You're adding another minute of animations.
It's the way you're able to use them is like a super attack, but the way that they're animated and the way that they feel is like a critical, like a finisher move. It's like, what if you could do a fatality in Mortal Kombat during the fight?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's like, why would you do that? That's dumb. That is an actual stupid idea. Now, the question is, do we want to get to the part that we truly hate about the game, or do we want to bitch about Libra just a little bit?
Let's talk about Libra for a little bit and leave the biggest discussion topic.
Libra is
for the end.
The most yet least creative part of the game.
Why can't I play as a created character in Libra?
Why can I only have 3 character slots, and why do I have to create a fresh created character?
Why can't I just take my created character that I created, saying, "Oh, you want a created character? I don't have a created character. Let me go spend 20 minutes making
5 of these motherfuckers. Let me choose one of them."
Mm-hmm.
I thought maybe I'd be able to switch them out as I wanted to.
Instead, what ended up happening is I created a character, took 20, 30 minutes to create a character that I thought, okay, this is going to be fine. I'm satisfied with how this character is.
Yeah.
Now let's go into Libra. Create a character. What?
Yep, you have to create, and now here's the problem.
Alright, fine, whatever. I'm just going to choose this character, do nothing to him, and go.
Well, and let's say you were to take another 20 or 40 minutes to create your Libra character. Do you know what the first part of the game is? Reading.
Mm-hmm.
It's more fucking... Give me cutscenes. I created a character to see them. And now I get a portrait and I get to read.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And then the gameplay itself feels very restricting.
Mm-hmm.
It's very odd. And it's not fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it can be goofy, and I know what they're trying to do, but the problem is what they're trying to do has been done before, and it's been done better. Soul Calibur 2 had this mechanic that was just like that. It had a game mode that was exactly like that, except it was fun. Didn't mess around with fucking cutscenes or a story. You just kind of went from place to place and completed tasks and challenges. You didn't have to worry about, oh, do I have enough gold to move on to the next one? You just complete one, move on to the next one. It was a more linear story, but it was fun because you were unlocking shit constantly. I thought Libra was going to be fun, and I was ready to devote time into it. Then I realized that Soul Calibur 6 got rid of one of the best things that the Soul Calibur franchise has had, and that's unlockable gear and gear and equipment within the game. You don't unlock anything. There's no... you have a couple items in the creation menu that are locked behind special points or whatever. And in Libra, you get gold that you can transfer into special points that you then can use to buy the gear.
But I don't feel compelled to do that because I get enough just by playing the game.
There's not enough. By the time you get enough to unlock the gear, who cares anymore? I don't want to play your stupid game mode. It's not fun. There's no reward.
I don't even want the gear. It's completely silly, comical gear.
It's not. And it doesn't add. So that's really all I have to say about Libra, is that it's completely underwhelming. It can be fun.
I spent 30 minutes playing it, and I'm like, this is going nowhere anytime fast.
It can be fun.
All I'm doing is fighting random people that I don't know, that just, I'm an evil guy, let me fight ya.
To be fair, they do get to a point where you get to meet, like, Maxie's crew before they die. Spoiler alert.
Alright, but
at the same time...
But it also strikes the opposite of that, in which, oh, you get to meet every character.
But here's the thing, you get to meet them, but... by reading about them.
I don't want to just go up and go, oh, hey, this guy, oh, hey, I'm Maxie, I'm cool or whatever. Oh, I'm Mitsurugi.
That's not what happens. You actually do get to meet them and form a bond with them. You get to talk with them through dialogue. It's a lot more natural, but the problem, again, is it's reading. It's just reading a fucking book. Write me a fan fiction. I don't give a shit. This isn't fun. The gameplay has nothing to do with the story.
No.
The story doesn't have anything engaging to look at. It's, here's your picture, here's some words, read them. Read the words.
What I was going to say is, it's, you get to meet the characters for the sake of meeting the characters.
Yeah.
Why am I meeting what's the
Here's
importance?
Mitsurugi, he's an idiot, here you go!
What's the importance of meeting the character? Why did I have to meet him? There's no, you have to hunt down this person who is the grand master of this fighting style, and he will teach you a special move.
No, instead it's just, you're just walking along trying to go find the whatever thing, and you come across someone, and someone's like, hey, let's fucking talk or whatever. And then you fight, and then he's like, you're really strong or whatever. Come with me, come meet my pirate buddies. And then Maxie rolls, and he's like, hello, I'm Maxie. And it's like, hello. And he's like, I like you. We're gonna be friends now. It's like fucking Sonic Forces. Am I playing Sonic Forces right now? No. I'm trying to get gold to unlock fucking leather leotards right now. I don't give a fuck.
I want that horse hat, and I want it now. It's my horse hat. I spent $60 for a game that has a horse hat. Let me have the horse hat.
I paid $60 for a game where I get to create the same 5 characters with different color palettes, and that's what makes them different. Characterization. Character customization.
It's shit.
It's fucking dumb. I hate it. They took 5.
So bad.
The 5 had the greatest customer. It had one of the greatest because you had shit you can unlock, had a lot of fucking armor, and it had sets.
You were level what, and you were still unlocking stuff?
I was level 67, and I was still unlocking shit. New shit, and it got me excited. That game had sets. You could build a set. This game has pieces of the sets from 5, but not any of the full sets. And it's like, you gave me the stupid helmet. Now give me the stupid rest of the shit that it goes with, because it doesn't look good on its own, because it has a giant stone Medusa on its hand. It's stupid. I need the pointy boobs and spiky shoulders. Otherwise it doesn't look good. It's dumb. Stupid. They copy-pasted the character customization from 5, then stripped it. That's like if I were to clone you, rip off your skin, and try to sell you back to yourself.
Why would I want another me?
Why would you want a skinless you? It's useless. It's dumb.
It's going to die.
Put clothes on it.
Give it Lolo!
And like on one hand, they added, you can make all these, you can make lizard dudes, you can make Skelebros, you can make all these different things.
That's the only thing they added. The only thing they added.
They took stuff away. You're a sequel. Don't have less shit than the game that came before you.
It's like they planned. It's like they planned, saying, alright, what if we gave them frustratingly small amounts of the gear they want? And then we give them DLC and say, it'll have extra items in it. Because if you look, and it'll say 67 items. You're looking at maybe 13 related to character creation. Most of it is soundtrack.
Only one of them is a fucking pair of iron boots. For women in this game, there's only like 3 pairs of iron boots. Well, 5 now, because they added 3 pairs. But like, iron pants. Like, plate legs. It's like one option. They just added their first option. And it's like, fucking, it's armor! You're a medieval game! Give me plate legs! You had fucking 3! You had at least 3 options in the last game. Give me armor! Give me cool stuff! Give me big give me fucking... Give me what I already had!
It's like if you were to... I'm not entirely certain if this is true about 6, but what it feels like is you open up the creator and then you can have a student top and a chain mail skirt thing. That doesn't work. That doesn't match. There's no matching items. There's maybe 5 outfits that work that look good.
The biggest changes in the character customization in the games that I've played was from 4 to 5. 4, you had a lot of options, but they had stats. So you were limited to what you would make because the stats on the gear kind of limited you, right? But then in 5, they added a bunch more stuff, took some stuff away, but didn't have the stats. So you could make whatever the fuck you wanted. You didn't have to worry. It was much more free to create.
You could make a naked boy, and he would be just as strong as a fully clad armor boy.
6. The only way having that limited amount of armor would work is if you gave it the stats back. If you gave it a reason. Here's the other problem, right? In 6, they took away a bunch of stuff without adding almost anything. But gave me 50 more credit slots. You want me to make 50 more characters with less shit than the other game?
You ran out of character slots in 5.
I ran out of character slots on day 3 of owning the game.
Mm-hmm.
In 3 days, I filled all 50 character slots. I just got to 55 because I was so fucking sick of creating the same goddamn 2 characters and switching up the color palette. Because I was sick of being like, what if I make another Roman? Because I have at least a Roman set.
I could identify all of my characters in 5. I could identify them just by looking at them.
So cool and unique.
In 6, I have 11. I can identify each of them simply because I said I'm not gonna make any more.
Yeah.
There's no point.
There's one hood. One hood for girls. There are technically 2 for guys. One of them is restricted to the cape. In the girls, that one hood is the caped one. So I have a bunch of hooded characters. They all have a cape. I don't want a cape. Give me the hood. Fucking, I get it. That's for a guy character. But why? It's a fucking hood. Give the hood to the girls too. They just added a fucking ninja mask back into the game. They made you pay $5 fucking for it. It was in the last game.
There were 4 of them in the last game.
And it's a ninja mask. Fucking, it's a Japanese game. And they made you pay. There's a ninja character. There's a character that's a ninja. I didn't give you the ninja mask. Boys couldn't be ninjas. Like girls could be ninjas. It's stupid. And the fucking...
Like gender-specific clothing works only for, like the undergarments.
And even if you're going to do it for overgarments, right? Give me the set. It has to make sense. In Soul Calibur 5, you couldn't give a boy the Gorgon set. Because that big fucking titties on it. You don't want a guy running around. Big fucking titties! Big fucking metal titties! To hold your actual titties! That could lactate! But in 6, they don't have that. And also in 6, they fucking added this new DLC pack that was like $5 or whatever dollars. And the girls got a lot more gear, it seems like. They got more sets.
There's more female characters being created,
so
that makes sense.
But here's the problem, right? They got more sets. Half of them are fucking just sex. Just here, be as naked as humanly fucking possible.
If you're gonna do that, might as well just not throw anything on the character.
Just make a Senran Kagura game.
Just make them wear bikinis.
Make more Dead or Alive. Stop making Soul Calibur if you just want boobies. I don't care. You know what I want? You know what I genuinely want is like some big fucking paladin armor. Like you can't see any of my skin or the frame of my body. I am just a tube of armor. I'm like a fucking man-witch can.
There's one opportunity for... And there's not even a helmet that works for it.
The helmet's dumb. And it was DLC armor, and it was dumb. There's so little armor in the game. There's so little armor. You can make one knight. If you want to make a full armored knight, you can pretty much make one.
And then the rest are just going to be carbon copies.
Carbon copies. You know how many... I can make at least 5 different knights. The bucket helmet is not in the game, but they added the Pegasus Soleil back. The fucking... Here's a bucket helmet, but with a big fucking stone Pegasus on the top. It weighs half a ton. Be happy with it. Oh, you wanted to make just a knight who wears a helmet that protects him from all sides and looks cool and doesn't show their fucking face because you need to protect that shit? Have a stone unicorn on the top of it. Did I mention it's a unicorn? Wait. Fucking rainbow dash on my head. Fuck. It makes me so mad. So, like, genuine. They added a new weapon, right? One new weapon! For Siegfried! Fucking look at Soul Calibur 2! Every character had 8 weapons! And a joke, 7 weapons and a joke weapon. Fucking, you get 5 weapons. And a joke weapon. It's like, why? You know you're doing something wrong when your GameCube game has more motherfucking content than your fucking 3 generations. 2 generations. 3. 2? 3?
3? 2?
When was the GameCube? GameCube was definitely PlayStation 1. It was like 2001, right? No, 2004? 2001, 2004? What console generation is a GameCube? It doesn't matter, though.
When is GameCube?
Soul Calibur 2 should not have more content than Soul Calibur motherfucking
When
6.
is GameCube?
When is GameCube? It's whenever you want, PP. Rainbows.
2001.
GameCube was PlayStation 2? Well, 2001 was still PlayStation 1.
Mm-hmm.
So it was still that console generation.
When was PlayStation 2?
Joe DiMaggio is dead.
God damn it. 2000.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Huh.
So it was technically only 2 generations.
Yeah, so 2 generations, though. You're fucking 4 games in.
A console that came out...
In the year 2001, it's 2000 motherfucking 19, and this game still doesn't have as much content as that game did. It doesn't. It just doesn't.
Hang on.
It's dumb and stupid.
When was PlayStation 4?
I get this shit again.
2013. A console 9 years later has a game from the same series with less content.
With less content. It's
like, I don't care how good the graphics are. I don't care if the sword manages to wibble when you activate a thing. Like, yes, it's nice. It's nice that you add that because that's what they do.
There was not a there's only one redeemable thing from 5. The one reason why 5 became such a renowned game was because of its fucking character creator.
Mm-hmm.
They took that and they fucking old yellered it. They were like, hey, you're a good thing. Get rabies, I'm gonna shoot you. Like, you're done.
I went and played online for, I believe, 4 hours in 5.
Suck. In 6 too. They didn't fix the fucking server.
They didn't.
We were in the same room on the same internet playing against each other, and it was dying.
It kicked us.
I have good internet. I have like fucking almost like 80 megabyte download speed. 7 upload.
I played 4 hours online.
My butt hurts.
On 5. I came across no repeated characters everyone was using did they play the same character more than once? Yes, but everyone looked unique. There was one guy who was a fucking maid. He was a pink and white maid, and he kicked my ass.
You know what they just
but
added?
You know what? in 6, I think I've watched people play, and all they do is make joke characters that look garbage. Like Mr. Krabs or Eustace Spage.
Or just people with the big
whole
penises.
Purpose. Yes, or lizards with penises that have the whatever fighting style.
And you know the crazy thing too?
Just so they can hump you.
This fucking $5 or whatever goddamn DLC pack. You know what they added? Balls. For character creation. They added basic geometry.
So that way you don't need to shove eyeballs into people's faces.
Apples, not eyeballs.
Apples.
Like, it's... Again, it's one of those things where they took what they took out of 5. They are trying to resell to us now. And I already bought into it because I bought the season pass. Because I thought there was going to be great new shit. Because I thought the game was going to be full and complete on launch.
This is why I haven't bought a game on launch since ages ago. Like, this was a game that I did buy on launch because I'm like, okay.
We actually pre-ordered it technically the day before
before. And then the only other game in recent memory that I've done was Spider-Man. Because I'm like, okay.
That game was fucking phenomenal, though.
I'm going to go all in on this one. If it does end up bad, okay. Alright, fine.
Yeah.
But I got my joy out of Spider-Man. I did not get my joy out of this game.
I get my joy out of it only because it's my only fighting game franchise. Because they did up the graphics. The graphics look good.
But they looked good in 5.
They looked good in 5, and
all they added was
they touched them up.
These rocks now look moist. You got moist rocks! That's what the generation did! You got moist rocks!
That's my problem with this game, though. My problem is that I love it. I like it. I just hate it.
You hate every bit about it, but you love it.
I love playing Soul Calibur. I love the characters. They're very endearing to me. I want this game to succeed. But I don't like being... Here's the deal. I love sex, right? But I don't like it when I get fucked in the ass. I love this fighting game, but I don't like the way that the company is trying to fuck me in the ass. Point being, don't fuck my ass.
You have Crohn's. It hurts.
I will bleed profusely.
Blood on my dick. Shit on my knife.
If my shit is too solid, I will bleed. What do you think a penis is gonna do? That shit's pointy.
What kind of penis do you have if it's pointy?
I'm not fucking my own ass. I don't know. Godzilla.
Do you think a duck is trying to fuck your ass?
Yes.
Fuck the duck!
No, that's the problem! It's what got me into this in the first place! Some ducky fellatio. Ducky coitus. Or as we called it, coitus.
Quackus.
Quackus.
Biggest, quickest.
It's fucking... This video game franchise is something I'm very fond of. I love the characters, and I like the direction it's going. I would love for Soul Calibur 7 to be cooler Soul Calibur 2. But the problem is, you can't have it be Soul Calibur 1.5. You can't have it just feel like it's 2, but corporate. This game feels like it's 5, but corporate.
It seems like it's following EA's model of games as a service.
Strip
where
and sell.
Games as a service doesn't work.
Do not.
People are boycotting companies and developers that they love. Like, I kept a close eye on Anthem, and I wanted to see what it was. But I told myself, it's EA. I will not pre-order. I want to wait 2 months after its launch.
Yeah,
just
wait
so
2 months.
so everyone can get, all right, this is a feeling of the beginning, this is a feeling at the middle, and this is where it is right now. And where it is right now is it's a beautiful game.
It looks good.
With a 4.5 out of 10.
It looks good when it's not destroying your system. Which, here's the thing, too. You know that issue that everyone's talking about where it's like it, quote-unquote, breaks your system and puts it to that gray screen?
Mm-hmm.
That happened to me on a completely separate game. So I've dealt with it. But you know what game it was? Battlefield 5. It was a separate EA game. So I don't know if the problem is Anthem, but EA's shitty fucking servers and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because it only ever happens to me when I'm playing online.
No, I've watched several reviews on Anthem. The general consensus is it had potential.
Mm.
And if you look at where BioWare wanted to focus their efforts but just couldn't, there is something there.
Could I...
But through all the stuff that EA said, you have to include this. This part needs to be this.
Yeah.
It just needs to be specific to my standards. If you look at what EA said to include,
yeah,
you can see the difference, and that is staggeringly bad.
I don't want to get too in depth with this because that's not what the topic is about.
I know.
I do want to bring up one thing though.
This is something
about the dialogue in Anthem, and that's the fact that it seems like it's trying to be a satire, but it's not satirizing anything. It sounds like it's trying to be Saints Row, because Saints Row is cheeky and vulgar,
well,
but it's a satire.
It's a satire
of the GTA games.
Yeah, it's GTA, but. Hey, what happens if we gave the characters actual superpowers?
What if we just made them fucking hilarious superstars who just fucking don't care and think that it's whatever? It sounds like Anthem was trying to do the same thing, giving that dry, snarky humor. It sounds like a satire, but it wasn't clear what they were satirizing. The humor came out very off-putting.
It feels like what they were satirizing was the military genre, but it doesn't feel very military-esque genre.
Yeah. So Soul Calibur.
Soul Calibur 6. All right.
Fucking.
It was the last game I pre-ordered, and it will probably be the last for a long while.
Yeah. The only thing I've pre-ordered since is a Totoro calendar.
I am tempted to pre-order the next Pokemon because it's Pokemon. It's a beloved series.
Pokemon's not going to go wrong, and here's why. They've never taken away from Pokemon. They only ever expand on it. The graphics only ever get better. The Pokemon only ever happen.
The only major thing where they took away was in Let's Go.
Which hardly even counts.
Where they said, all right.
Yes.
Instead of battling wild Pokemon, you always go to catch.
But to be fair, though, that wasn't a mainline Pokemon game. That was a spin-off. No. That's like complaining that you didn't go to gyms in Pokemon Snap.
It was a test.
Yeah.
It's not. It's a test of, can we make a Pokemon game? Can we have it work?
And not only that, but it was just...
Can we include several mechanics that are independent of each other?
It also seemed to be just like, hey, remember the original games? Remember fucking Pokemon Red and Blue and shit?
Well, the reason why
and Yellow?
In my opinion, the reason why they did that is because this is probably the most beloved region. Might as well remake this, test the game, see if it works, and if it works really well, maybe sell it.
And not only that, but...
Maybe. It wasn't made to sell.
Think about that. That came out, what, 99? 96?
I don't fucking know, man.
It came out in the 90s. So, kids, your fucking 2001 and laters, probably didn't get to experience it that much because the next generations were already out.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is a chance to get newer fans familiar with the regions. That way the older fans can be like, I fucking know this shit. This was my shit. We didn't have fucking colors and fucking bullshit. Pikachu was fat as hell and he went...
And you got a Mew from under a pickup truck you couldn't access without cheating.
Missing no.
But it wasn't actually there.
Missing no. Beef. Our sponsor today is beef. We want to thank our sponsor, Beef. It comes from cows. You know what else comes from cows?
No.
Milk. But you know what isn't milk? Beef.
Beef. You know what else comes from goats?
Beef.
I was gonna say milk.
Jeez. I don't really know if there's a lot more to say on Soul Calibur 6. It's just a fucking...
Final what would you say out of 10?
Oh, it's...
Like, what you say as a fan of the series and what you would say as, this is my entry into the series.
So, as a fan of the series, I'm going to break it down into 3 distinct levels. You got your gameplay, your character customization, and your story, right? Kind of the 3 things that we talked about today. Gameplay, probably a 6.5 out of 10.
What needs to be improved in gameplay?
Fucking reversal edges.
So, nix the reversal edges, go back to grapple system that you
go back to the grapple system. Or, create an interesting parry system. Make guard impacts easier to pull off. Do something, right? And
well, I would argue that guard impacts are easy enough, or maybe a bit too easy. It feels like the window is a little bit larger. Case in point is my safe spot.
But that's a guard impact put into an attack. I'm talking about just a straight up guard impact. Those are that is a frame where if they attack you in that frame, you get it. The other problem is either commit to making your critical edges a finishing move that takes 12 seconds, or put it back to a super move that takes 3 seconds.
That is bap bap chop gun.
Yeah, or is block slap, you're done.
Block slap.
Block slap.
Next album title.
Ka-ching.
Alright. So,
those
6
really...
on gameplay.
Yeah, I'm 6.
Story.
Well, fucking 3.
3.
No, it...
What is the major improvements need to be made?
Cutscenes. Where things are explained. Or, go back to what fucking, all the other games did, where the dialogue you get is from that opening banter. That's fine. That's really all you need. And give me an interesting fucking story. Don't make me play one character. And if you're gonna make me play one character, have it as interesting of a story for all the other characters. Because I might not care.
I played 3 of the stories, and I said, you know what, I don't care anymore.
I played 4, right? Soul Calibur 4.
Mm-hmm.
I played all the fucking stories, because they all had a unique ending, they were all really fun, and you unlock shit when you do it.
And then you get the wizard lizard to go...
It's the fucking best.
It was the stupidest cutscene ever. I love it.
It felt satisfied to complete.
Mm-hmm.
You felt like you were completing something.
Mm-hmm.
And the story just feels like a formality in 6. It feels like, hey, we threw this in here so that way you fuckers would stop bitching that we don't know what we're doing. When you don't know what you're doing! So, absolutely a 3. The only reason it gets a 3 is because you do get to play the game. And I do enjoy playing the game. Character customization, I think, will be a 6. Because it's so stripped of shit. But it's still fun. I still like making my characters. I love it when a character comes out right and they look like they're supposed to. You know, it's really cool. So,
right.
Overall, my overall score is like, what, a 4.5 or a 5?
What? That's...
Well, it would be 21 out of 30. That doesn't sound right. No, it would be 15 out of 30.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would be about a 5. So it gets an overall 5 out of 10 for me. 5 nightmares out of 10 Siegfrieds.
Alright. In my opinion, I'm fresher to the series. Gameplay. I want to say it's an 8 if you don't have the reversal edges included at all.
Alright, but include the reversal edges.
But including them, it is enough to drag it down to a 4 for me.
A 4 even.
It's not fun to play against.
It's not fun.
It's not fun to play against anyone who uses that.
And not only that, but it's integrated into some of the characters' moves.
Yes, some of the characters I can't even play because I want to do a certain combo. Oh, yeah. It ends in this.
Mitsurugi used to be so much fun because you could just whip out the sword and be like, look at all the directions. I can wiggle my sword. And now it's like, I'm only going this way because if I go this way, I'm going to get stuck into that reversal edge.
Yep.
Jump move. It's the ultimate solution. Jump move.
Yes, there's certain characters I just can't play. Like, in 5, I didn't play characters like Astaroth, you know? I didn't play...
Right, because they just played differently.
They played differently, and I wasn't okay with it. But I still had at least 5 characters I frequented.
And it wasn't because they were bad characters. They just didn't jive.
No.
You just aren't the person who's
no, I played against people who could thoroughly wreck my ass with that character.
Right.
Who could go, hey, I'm playing as a character you can't play as, and guess what? I'm gonna make your anus 20 times larger.
Prolapse.
And they did! They kicked my ass!
I kicked your ass probably at least once with an Astaroth.
No.
I'm pretty okay with Astaroth. I'm not good, I'm just okay.
No, but I could still get the bab in before you could.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I would play
I'm learning. Okay, fuck you, bud.
Yeah, no, I had 5 characters I played in 5.
Yeah.
I have 2 that I play, 3 that I play in...
Yeah, and I try my hardest to play as many of them as possible.
Like,
I'm just ready for Cassandra to come out.
I want to play others, but I don't have any of the DLC characters because I just have no more faith in the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to give a DLC with 100 new...
They're going to give me Cassandra,
character
that's all. That's
items.
sadly the only reason I'm still hanging on to the game. Because I want my fucking Cassandra.
If they gave us a DLC that was $3 and you got 100 new items that were in 5, I would be like, okay.
Just give me all of the items that were in 5.
You're listening to us now. Sure, you want some money, but you're not giving me 3 items for $5.
Or give me, there's fucking 16 items, and it was for a celebration event. It's not even like, we love you guys. It's the 20-year anniversary of the first games. Here's like 5 things.
Here's a $5 thing you can buy. Get some music from older games and like 2 items.
Here's a wet banana and a sock. Have fun. I mean, yes, I came in the sock, but it wasn't okay. The banana was staring at me weird, and I felt awkward afterwards.
Yeah, so gameplay just drops to a 4 if you include reversal edges. It removes so much content for me.
Yeah. So do you wanna average that out, or?
No, I'm not, because
All right, 4.
This is what the game is.
All right, so 4.
It's gameplay is 4. It's fun if you don't include the reversal edges, but once you do, it breaks everything.
Yeah, they're silly.
Story. It was a grind.
It's not fun.
I'll be honest, it's a 2 for me.
Yeah.
Because there was an attempt at a story, but dialogue was cheesy. After an hour of playing the story, I just said, alright, fine. Just let me skip I don't care. Skip!
Right? And it's not a character we don't care about.
Like, I cared about learning about the character before, but I don't... It feels like a completely different character.
Give me something to read. I don't want to play this character the entire time. If you want me to learn about this character, give me a fucking library where I can bring up a book, read about the character.
Mm-hmm. And if you want to include Libra, it's a pointless story. If you want to include extra character stories...
Yeah, because that's the other thing is that...
There's one of them that all it is there's no fighting. It's just dialogue. It's garbage.
I never realized that fucking Soul Calibur 6 is going to be an interactive novel. Doki Doki up in this bitch.
Like, I played 3 of them, and after that I'm like, I'm not playing any more of these.
I haven't even played a single one of them, because I just don't care enough.
Like, I think I played Mitsurugi, I played Geralt, and I played Grill.
Alright, custard. Customer caramelization.
Alright, customer caramelization.
Yeah.
There's potential here.
Yeah.
The only major things we haven't talked about yet is stickers. Placing stickers is ungodly difficult.
God, it was so easy in 5.
Mm-hmm. It was turn it around and it will be there.
Yeah, it was where your camera's pointing, or if that's being a problem, it'll be you can move it around on like a grid, right? Mm-hmm. You can move it around via axis, but it didn't get warped because of whatever. It was a silly.
In this, I made a character that had a butterfly on her leg, and then I had to remove it because it carried over onto the other leg as well, on the inside of the leg. Like it was on the outside of the shin, and then on the other leg it was on the inside.
Yeah.
I'm like, when I saw that, I'm like, that looks stupid. I need to remove that.
It's so. What score would you give the customization?
3.
So your general consensus is
It's a bad game.
12 out of 30.
Yes.
So. What's that? Give me a second.
Or 11, I think.
No, because you gave story a 2. You gave gameplay a 4.
There's 6. So 9.
Oh yeah, 9. 9
out of 30.
Which is a 3 out of 10.
Yeah.
So but the problem is that we love this franchise.
5, I could easily say, is at least a 7. Even with its bad story.
Go play 5. Here's the deal. If you own a PlayStation 3, get 5. Or if you already own 5, let us know. My PSN. I hate giving this out because I hate accepting friend requests. But my from randos. But my PSN is Sakura_plays. Send it to me with the message.
Soul Calibur.
I watched your stream. I want to play Soul Calibur 5 with you. And I swear to God, I will boot up my fucking PlayStation 3 and we will play some fucking Soul Calibur 5.
I will boot up my PlayStation 3 for like 2 or 3 games now. Soul Calibur 5 is on that list. I will not boot up my PlayStation 4, which is a thing I have actively plugged in for Soul Calibur 6.
Yeah.
Unless my friend is saying, hey, do you want to play this game with me? Yeah. And still, even then, I'm like, I'd rather play this other game with you.
The only thing I use Soul Calibur 6 now for is for the tournaments. My CPU tournaments, because that's fucking fun. I don't care who you are. That is the one bit of fun. But you know the sad thing? I had to make that. Mm-hmm. I had to make that fun. You know what fucking Smash did? It made it fun. It put it in the game. Smash Bros. Was like, hey, you want to have a fucking CPU tournament? We made a fucking tournament mode in the game. Mm-hmm. And you can have all CPUs. Go for it. And then...
Or you could have all player characters.
Yeah, it's like, it's...
64.
Rant about something?
Ranting about something. Okay, I believe Sakura is going to go into the restroom while we rant. So, let's talk about the latest, ranting. Yes. Oh, that sounded very disgusting. I can hear her in there. It was the Chinese. Sakura, stop! They can't hear you, but I can.
Okay, Google, find 38,000 degrees.
Hi. How are you? If you've made it this far, then you must really be enjoying this, or you must really be hating us. Leave your opinions about Soul Calibur 6 below with a rating of what you would give the game. Include as many genres as you want, or don't, I don't care. You're only 7. Yeah. Overall, it's a disappointing game. There's so much it could have been. Like, I followed news on it, and I'm like, oh, it's gonna include characters I don't know. I will talk to my friends about those characters. And my friends were excited about the characters. We get into the game and it's not even as fun. Like, I played it. Sakura and I were playing it next to each other, and we ended up having. We got to a point now we're in where we're just. It became a grind. I'm one of the few people who will say you have to play a story mode through to the end before you can play any online. Right? I've had that rule years. Every Call of Duty played story mode through to the end, and then I allowed myself to play multiplayer. It, it's law to me. And I still enforced it with this game, but I'm like, my reward for playing this is the multiplayer. But that's the only reward I ever got from the game. Simply because it was a self-imposed rule that I have to do this before I can do that. If you wanted to, you could buy the game and boot up multiplayer right away. No problem. Do that if you want. But why do that when Soul Calibur 5 servers are still up? It's just as shitty of servers. They don't care about your connectivity. You're going to lose matches simply because there's too much lag, and you will end up getting your ass kicked because people are better than you. That just happens. But this game doesn't want you to do anything but play online. That's not. That's only part of the fun that can be had in a video game. Like, how long ago was The Witcher released? It's been years, and yet obviously people still love it. Obviously people are still interested in it. They want to see another Witcher game or more Witcher content. It's only single player. But that is all there is in Witcher. It's a long single player story. But it's a good story. If your fun in a game comes from multiplayer, fine, whatever. And if you make a game designed for multiplayer, fine, whatever. Adding a story to that game only acts as an insult to those who do want a story. Because you're not going to care about the story. The story is going to be not as good.
My asshole's raw.
Prolapse anus.
What'd you decide to rant about this time?
I'm talking about... Basically, I'm just talking about multiplayer and single-player modes in video games, and why... If you're making a video game, and your main fun you want to have for the players is multiplayer, adding in a single-player mode can be kind of an insult if you don't care about it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, one of the main reasons I stopped playing Call of Duty is because of my self-imposed rule of you have to play the single player first.
Oh yeah, Black Ops 3 has like the worst single player.
And
they just kind of jump you into something that I really didn't care about.
Black Ops 3, I played through that. I'm like, okay, fine. I have no idea what's going on anymore. I'm just going to locations. People are there, they're shooting at me, and I'm killing them.
Yeah. It's like Destiny, but without the endearing characters and the reason to like things.
Yeah. Adding a story mode for the people that want a story mode in a game that is meant to be multiplayer is an insult to those that want the single player. Like there's no single there is a single player mode in what's it the Rainbow Six.
There's no single player.
There is single player, but it's not a story.
Right, it's just
it's character introductions.
Yeah, and activities.
It teaches you the characters. That's not a story. Right. That is here's learning about the characters and how to play them, what their special abilities are. That I don't tell myself I need to play through this. entirely. Because it's not a story.
So, side note, this controller won't interact if I don't have it plugged in.
It's bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Need to go get that taken care of.
So Rainbow Six didn't have that insult to the single players.
To be fair, though, that there is one
and
thing...
And if you were to add a multiplayer to Witcher, you'd be insulting the multiplayer players. Because it's a story-based game.
It's like Fallout 76.
Yes.
It's 100%... What you're talking about is just Fallout 76.
Fallout 76 is a multiplayer game that only has a single-player story.
Doesn't... It's a single-player game where they got rid of all the things that made it viable as a single-player game, and then we're just like,
GTA,
hey, let's just put...
It's like if you were to play GTA 5, and you had to play through the story while online, and random players could just kill you.
Here's what it is. It's like GTA Online. If you actually were invested in the GTA... If GTA was well known for its rich, expansive lore, and its intricate NPCs.
No, what GTA is more known for is
having fun and dicking around.
Controversies and blowing up hookers after you've stolen $20 off of them anyways.
I don't even remember most of the story. I never got that far in San Andreas. But San Andreas was still one of my favorite games.
I never got that far in Vice City. But yeah, I still had fun.
You're a Vice City kid.
I played Vice City.
Dude.
I remember just booting it up and
Remember
going, here's a tank!
You know how we...
Take me on now,
You know how we always joke about how we don't know why we're friends?
Yes.
Why are we friends? We even played the opposite fucking GTA games.
Yeah.
We're weird.
My brother, when he was allowed to play the game, he learned cheat codes quickly. And my dad ended up getting furious because there was a certain mission he couldn't get past. But he would still boot it up. And he would call my brother over. How do I do that tank thing? Hand the controller to my brother. Down comes a tank. Thanks.
You know the best one, though?
My dad had more fun just mindlessly killing.
So, what you do is you get a tank, and you put on the cars can fly, cheat. You point the gun behind you, and you just keep shooting. Eventually, you bring up enough speed to where the tank will actually fly as long as you keep shooting.
I know.
Which, by the way, any game that has that physics mechanic in it is phenomenal.
Like GTA, I know more for its silly nonsense.
Yeah, have fun.
It's shooting Bigfoot, and then Bigfoot's really just a man in a costume. So I just shot a man in a costume.
Or even like the cool thing, the one draw that I had to...
Only because of a video in San Andreas of Bigfoot existing when Bigfoot wasn't in the game.
The one thing that I really liked was GTA 4, the one I never played. I only watched people play it, like friends and stuff, was that if you shot someone in the leg, they would limp. Like, it was very realistic. That game was grounded. But it was cool, because it was like, you're getting away from me. No knees, no knees. I'm a terrible person.
Oh, yes, but that's the kind of fun GTA allows you to have.
Yeah,
you can't go down the streets of suburban New York.
Like, I bought Jump Force because the fighting was tight, and because the graphics. Well, let me just tell you about these particle effects.
I do want to get Jump Force because... It allows stupid nonsense of... anime allows, where a character screams Ora for 5 seconds in an obnoxious voice.
The game's fucking fun.
And you just want to join in and scream Ora, wake up your parents, and all they hear is Ora, 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 Ora! And they're like, what the fuck is going on? They come downstairs, the cat's already shat its pants, and they're like, what the hell are you doing? And you're just like, I am killing the Reapers of Death!
How did you perfectly explain my last Saturday night? How do you know these things?
Glass Friday night!
Yeah, it's It's weird. It's an interesting
Stupid
thing.
fun is allowed in video games.
Yeah.
Soul Calibur doesn't allow for a lot of stupid fun.
It's not.
It doesn't have good online. It doesn't have good offline.
Soul Calibur 5 was fine. Soul Calibur 5 was fine. Soul Calibur 4, if you want to talk about offline play, Soul Calibur 4 was the penultimate. It had the story modes, which were really fun. It had an arcade mode. It had the tower, which was really fun. It had a lot of offline shit to do. But
5 didn't have a whole lot of offline. 6 tried to have offline, but it wasn't fun. It wanted you to be invested.
5 did have those quick battles that were fun.
Yeah.
I did really like those.
6 had Libra, which was trying to get you invested into a character you made. Sure, cool.
But it was only like, it was just like Sonic. It's just Sonic Forces.
Why can't I take that character and fight with them online?
Or
the character that I made.
Why can't, I don't know.
Or why can't I
do
take
anything?
A created character?
Give me shit that can be unlocked. I don't even care if you throw out a DLC for fucking $5 that adds 30 new customization items that I have to unlock. At least then I have an excuse to play a fucking video game.
Hmm? There's no...
And I don't mean...
One of
I
our
don't mean
big
have
questions.
them on the menu.
One of our big questions.
And then have to unlock them with points. I'm talking have them hidden. Don't even fucking tell me what they are in the fucking description of the thing. Let me figure it out, because that shit was fun.
One of our big questions on the night that we started playing was, where's the unlockables?
Yeah, why haven't I gotten anything?
I beat the story.
You get Inferno. And that's not even a guarantee. I have a friend who still doesn't know how to do it. He did what I did to get him. Didn't get him.
Just play through the main story.
Yeah. Or
finish the story.
Or do arcade. He's done it. He's done it all. It's so weird. That game's weird. But speaking of,
the only stupid fun to have is Inferno versus Inferno battles.
The only fun I get out of that game right now, by myself, other than trouncing on my friends, which I've been a lot of fun with, is my CPU battles.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that's the problem, is that I had to create my own fun for this video game. So, but I think we're talking in circles now.
Mm-hmm.
So.
No, it's like making the rule of playing a Persona game, but you only get to play one day of Persona, one day of your life. So it can take you fucking 8 months to play a Persona game. Each and every day from like April until December.
Gotcha.
At least in Persona 5.
I wouldn't know. I don't have a video game. I'm not a real gamer. I don't play real video games, apparently.
No, you can tell. You have worms on your system. I just hope someone doesn't know what worms is, and they just imagine like a whole bunch of earthworms sitting on
tapeworms. Actual tapeworms in my PlayStation.
I'm sorry, madam, but your system has your play worms.
Your Play-Doh has happened.
Your Play-Doh?
You want to go take care of this controller thing?
I have more energy.
Alright. When we get back, do you either want to record or do one more stream?
Of what?
Well, there's this certain tournament I need to get out of the way. I would love a co-commentator.
No.
Okay, fuck it.
I'm not going to do the Steve. Because you're not fun for me anymore.
Really?
I've had enough of them to where...
Aww, that makes me sad.
They're not fun.
Because I really wanted to commentate it with you, because I thought that would be fun. Just for us to get into the characters. The characters that we're already into.
They're not fun for me.
But you get to watch the cool. We get to talk and be friends. You didn't even let me, like, what was I gonna show you? And the minute I said I wanted to show you this, you were like, no. Oh, the gender fins. I was
going to show you the Chunderfins. And you were just like, no, fuck that. I just said...
I want to be with my friend. I don't want to
Yeah, but like...
be shown things. Like, look at this cool thing I found. Look at this thing that I have.
Yeah, but literally the only reason I wanted... Well, I wanted to share the Chunderfins with you to get you into it, hopefully. And to be fair, you can't bitch about that too much. You know what you do all fucking day when you're here, when we're not recording directly? You watch your YouTube videos loudly, but I have to listen to them too. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be into RT game. But meanwhile, I can't be like, hey, look at this thing. Alright, shut that off. I don't want to get fucking copy striked by PewDiePie.
PewDiePie is gonna copy strike us.
Yeah. No! We're stealing his content!
It's not even happening.
We're reacting to things! He's the new Fine Brothers! Anyway, we gotta go take care of something.
We'll catch you on the...
Yeah, I hope you guys
side.
enjoyed this podcast. Sakura Plays podcast with some of evil. It's 2 people on couches.
Don't lick the anus. It has ass on it.
Don't lick the anus. I'm still alive!
What if he spoke from your anus?
Oh, well. It'll be a load of shit.
And be talking shit quite frequently? I don't know, that's kind of a bad pun.
Can we stop by Quick Trip again?
Why?
I want a cheese pretzel.
No.
I'm really hungry.
Get it yourself.
That's what I'm saying! We'll stop by and I'll buy it for myself.
Get it your own damn self.
Get it your own damn
fuck.
self, you fat fuck! Hank!
Why did you call me? You don't talk to her that way.
You don't talk to her that way!
Shut up, you freeloading prick.
Shove it up your pee hole!
Shut up your peel. I think we need to get a new slogan.
I think we need to get new jobs. We suck. Hi, welcome to original Let's Play. Unavoidable chin move! We're so original. We're the only
Oh, hey, look, it's Framped.
Frumpelstein. From Jerusalem. The Holy Land of Frump.
Evil, you should totally kill me. You aren't even listening to me right now, but
Goodbye! It was so nice seeing you. You must die.